Hey fellow ServiceNow devotees, get ready to embark on a journey through the fascinating realm of ServiceNow with none other than the service docs themselves. I'm James Downs.
And I'm Russ here. Whether you're new to ServiceNow, pre-Aspen veteran, or just a curious soul, we're here to bring you ServiceNow curiosities, exhilarating interviews, and don't forget the infamous A to Z game.
But mostly, it's about the random ramblings of two middle-aged guys with a funny story to tell, right?
Yeah, true. The ducks are ready, the mics are on, and we can't wait to have you join us. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Service Docs podcast. As always, I'm your co-host Russ here, and I'm joined by James Downs again. You keep turning up. You keep turning up. Today, I think I've already prepped you with this a little bit, but we're going to talk about Horizon. So we're going to talk about ServiceNow's offering for UX, right? So I think what we'll do is later on, we'll have an explore of Horizon. I think it was announced, don't quote me on this, but Knowledge 24. But I want to explore what it means. So we'll load it on the screen, we'll have a poke around and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Have you heard much about Horizon?
I've only heard about it. I've not really digged into it too much. It sounds really interesting because it's so different. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's about UX. Anyone didn't catch what I said before. Before we do that, though, let's have a bit of a catch up. What's new, James? What have you been up to? How was your event thing?
Yeah, so I was about to say, the last time we spoke was, I think I was leading up to the on-site event in London around creator workflows. Yeah, do you know what? It went well. It was a decent little crowd there, the little ship club. Little ship club. No, it was a fantastic event. It was good to see a good turnout there. Like I said, all around creator workflows are all good things about, App Engine Studio and what we've done with our customers and creating low code apps, and it was a nice event. It was good to get out. Actually, it's been a while since I've actually been able to get out and about and talk about ServiceNow. So
what was the event then? Was it for like customers and partners?
Customers, ideally. It was meant as a kind of like round table sort of thing. Okay. We brought in a particular customer to talk through their journey of, how they've created this really awesome framework around creating low-code apps. Really, really inspiring and helpful. But also, there was a few ServiceNow demonstrations about app sprawl. I did one around some of the stuff that we've done at DXC and governance around low-code apps. We've got a nice. You can't go to one of these things without talking about Gen AI. So,
do you know what? I've got an awesome game proposition around Gen AI. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay. And a couple of beers afterwards was also good.
You were allowed out afterwards as well.
Yeah, not for long.
There you go. So who else was not who else, but it wasn't just you and your company presenting. There was the different rooms going on, or one room and different presenters. How did it work?
One room. It was a kind of like a joint ServiceNow and my company thing. So it was a joint venture, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Generate leads.
And attended well. Some good feedback.
Yeah, attended fairly well. I think it was intended to be quite a, I was going to say intimate kind of setting. Fairly small room, but all together, and let's just all chat through quite informally, these sorts of things. So it was,
that sounds good. Did you manage to convert anyone over to the Ducks? Please say you did.
All away from ProCode, you mean?
No, to the Ducks.
Oh, to the Ducks.
Did you get any listeners? This is what we need to be doing.
No, it was advertised. So
awesome.
Yeah. We've got a bit of air coverage.
You've just reminded me as well. One thing I didn't note down to talk to you about, but you also did recently, and if anyone hasn't listened to it, I'm sure they can go back and listen to it. But you were on Atol's podcast / LinkedIn live stream on Saturday just gone, wasn't it?
Yes. I was lucky enough to be one of his guests. I did a live, I was going to say vodcast, video. I don't know. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was good. Actually, we covered the same subject that we did at the. If you didn't attend the London Meetup, Dev Meetup, so around AI Ops. So I did a demonstration around that. I probably did a better demonstration around that.
Less
demos. These things, I guess.
Demos are demos, aren't they? They are. Sometimes they go well, sometimes they're not go not so well.
Oh, picked up all the little tricks, tips and tricks that he's been doing as well. So integrate
Share
that
the
into what
wealth.
we do.
Share the wealth. I'm assuming Atolls was much more professional and organised than what we do, right?
I think that was the number one thing I got from it, is just how well organised he is about lining up his guests and, getting the invites out. And we're like, we may have someone on, we may record, we may not.
Not do that. We've got a couple of guests lined up. We've just got to find time to talk to them.
Yes.
I've got one lined up for next Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and just chat to them next Wednesday. I know you're not in, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's the first time you're hearing about it. We've got a few guests lined up. So yeah, make sure you stick around for future episodes. It's not just me and James droning on.
Yeah.
And how's your running going? You're training for your half?
As expected. I haven't really been out, and I keep saying I'll come back from holiday next week and then I'll make a start. Clearly the half marathon that I did have booked for the end of this month is going to get cancelled.
Oh, it was at the end of this month?
Yeah. No, I've
do it
been
anyway.
Really too relaxed with it, and I'm not ready.
Just walk it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yep. There's no way, hell and chance, that you would go to one of these things and just walk it.
Do you know how? And again, your listeners will know that me and you are avid runners, right? We talk about it quite a bit, but do you know how depressing it is sometimes? So I did. So I'm doing this 10K race series, right? So it's the same course every month: June, July, August. Okay, June. I don't know. I did a 49-minute. I did it again this week. I did a 53. And I had to, so it's 4 minutes slower, man. 4 weeks later, 4 minutes slower. And I had to stop. I made a conscious decision at 2K. I was like, this really hurts. I stopped at 5, had some water. I thought, I'm just going to run walk this. I'm not that bothered.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? 4 weeks earlier, it felt great.
Yeah.
Going quicker.
It's amazing.
It's just so depressing. So for anyone that isn't running yet and wants to get into it, this is the advertisement. Do it. It's fun. I don't know why we do it to ourselves.
No, I know the up and downs of running, I guess. So what else have you been up to, like outside the 10Ks?
Oh, actually, I've got to do a bit of admin in a sec. So we've got a, in fact, let me just quickly do it now. I'll say a bit of admin. We've got a London Meetup. Shall I start again? We've got a London Meetup coming up in July. In fact, 1 second. We'll edit this little bit out. But let me just do this. Let me make sure this is... Right, don't talk to me or distract me while I'm doing this. Let me just make sure the key points. 1 sec. Hello, everyone. Just a quick reminder about our upcoming ServiceNow Developer Meetup in London. We've already posted a few times out on LinkedIn, but if you're not sure, the day is fast approaching. It's the 18th of July, starting at 5 p.m. onwards till about 8 o'clock. It's going to be at 10 Union Street in London. It's going to be a fantastic evening. And if you haven't been to one before, it's a chance to meet and connect with fellow developers, share some insights and learn some stuff along the way. Gentle reminder, it's an in-person event. So if you're around London and can make it, please head over to the Meetup app and sign up, and we'd love to see you there. However, spaces are limited due to the size of the venue. So do sign up quickly. There's some spaces left available. However, you can get yourself on the wait list because some spaces do kind of come available nearer the time. So don't miss out. Anyway, we'd love to see you there. 18th of July. Put it in the camera.
There you go.
There you go. Right. That was me doing something. That was me hopefully recording a clip I'm going to put on LinkedIn later on this afternoon.
Very good.
I was meaning to do it, and I thought, I'll just do it at the same time. You get all the info. There we go.
Benefit from it. That's it.
What else have I been at? Do you know what? That was quite nerve-wracking doing that. Why? It's quite nerve-wracking doing something where you've got not a script, but you've got things to hit, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably found it on when you were at
like you say, if you have like the big kind of points that you want to hit, and just make sure you get those. The rest is just waffle, not waffle, but the content behind it.
I know it's difficult. So yeah, that was actually quite nerve-wracking. Recorded any videos for a long time. Hopefully, you are
out of practice, perhaps.
Out of practice, and hopefully I just recorded that on my phone. I'm hoping that recorded. Even got my little mic out to do it with as well.
Yeah.
And a changed shirt, so I look more professional. What did you ask me? You asked me what I've been up to.
What have you been up to?
Well, we should have mentioned at the start, we've all woken up to a new government in play. That wasn't going to go unmissed.
Yep.
That was perhaps not so shocking, but there we go. I think you and I will talk separately about that.
Where you are?
I don't know, to be
You
honest.
don't
I haven't
know?
paid that much
It's all
attention,
the
to be honest.
same.
Same. They'll all raise taxes anyway. Doesn't matter. No, really exciting week. So today, school sports day has been cancelled on the account of weather. It is miserable in here. Shock, horror, England. Exciting week. So my daughter's been at transition days at secondary school. It's her first time at school. So she's been a couple of days there. You know, a massive step for these guys.
Yeah.
That she's gone to a school where not all her friends are going. So she's kind of out on it a bit. And she's, I don't know, sometimes you kind of, you know, you're supposed to be this role model for your kids, and they look up to you and kind of model your behavior and stuff. And sometimes you look at your kids and go, just, I wish I was a bit more like you. Takes everything in her stride.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just gets on with it, quite happy. And I suppose if I bring it round to the ducks, she's like a little duck with flapping underneath, but the facade is completely different. And so that's been an exciting week. Mentioned my latest run to you. Bit horrific. I've got my half marathon coming in October. I'm going to reset my expectations, but we'll see. I don't know. But other than that, mate, not a massive amount of going on. Nothing fun to tell you, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I usually have some stupid slip-ups, don't I? That's happened. Well, could I tell you about this? No, I shouldn't. No, I'll save that for another day. For another day. It is quite a funny one. It's too raw, but it's quite juicy. There's an for you. Something weird's just happened to my screen. Expand frame. Let's not do that. So should we get on with? Should we have a look at Horizon?
Yes.
Should we do it? Are you going to share, or do you want me to share?
Yeah, you can share if you want.
Yeah, but if I share, it means I've got right. Okay, before we do that, I've been looking recently at Apple Pro Vision glasses.
Okay.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Let me correct myself. I haven't been looking at them, but if you haven't seen them, Apple Pro Vision, they're like these glasses that
massive
go on.
Properly things, yeah.
And they you put them on, and you can have all your apps kind of in virtual reality, I guess, and different screens. And if you've got like an Apple MacBook or whatever, you can take stuff off your screen and move it around, right?
Yeah.
Proper Minority Report style, if you're old enough to know what that film is. It looks so cool. I'm like, I could do away with all my monitors. I could work wherever. I could just be like this, wandering around the house to the tune of $3,500.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money. But someone did actually tell me that there's an alternative, X-Real Pro 2s or something.
Okay.
And they look a bit cooler. I don't think they're as interactive, but they're only £500.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's worth a punt anyway. One of us getting them.
Is it just going to be like essentially monitor extenders? Like you say, you put a window over there, you do something else over here.
I know, but how cool
you really
would it be?
Up and about that much to make use of it? I don't know. What's the practical side of it? Or there is none because it's just cool.
But I like this. Right, I've only just thought of it. But what Apple are doing is they're massive on user experience, right?
Right.
And things to be simple for you to consume. And that, my friend, is a segue to look at Horizon ServiceNow. Hey.
Nice.
Right, do you want to share? Because I was just about to say, if I share, I have to put you on this screen.
Screen. Window.
Bonsai tree's looking good.
Here we go.
Here we go. I'll tell you what else is good. Is news for you.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go and get new glasses, right? Because I haven't been for an eye test for 4 years. So if you haven't been people for that long, make sure you go. Eyes are important. But yeah, so I got new glasses, but I'm going to have a contact lens appointment. I've never worn contacts in my life.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, it's things like running, right? If I'm running out in the rain, these go all green, like the copper tarnishes. And they go slack, so I have to keep pushing them on like that, like a proper nerd. Ugh. So I'm thinking I might give contacts a go.
Okay.
There you go.
If people like weird situations where people look at you and go, "Oh, you just don't look the same." Yeah. They don't look right without your glasses.
You can reverse mock me.
Yeah.
So when I first started wearing glasses, everyone was like, 4 eyes back in the day. Well, you can do that. Oh, you're a non-specky now.
That's it.
You're just ordinary. Right. Okay. Let's see what this very minute screen looks like. Can I expand it? Oh no, I can change stuff. I hope that hasn't changed it in the thing. Right. Okay. Let's dive in then. Okay. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Horizon.
Oh, we're getting bigger. What's this?
Oh, hello. Hello.
Oh, clever.
So this I believe was talked about at Knowledge in May. So this is what I understand from this. This is kind of a framework or some guidance to use for UX. What are you doing? You're like caressing the screen. Keep scrolling down. Let's see what else is on this page.
Caressing the screen. Dirty.
Getting started. Okay.
All right. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
What?
Let's click getting started. So this, what we can see at the bottom of the screen, is the same that's at the top.
This is interesting.
Welcome. Let's go to the welcome. Design, develop.
All right. Welcome. What is Horizon? Providing centralized design guidance. So as you say,
okay. Yeah. So pretty much what I've just said.
Yeah.
Who uses Google? What was I going to talk about? Who uses? Go down to, let's see who the audience is.
Yep. So creators, partners, designers, developers, product managers, quality engineering. Okay.
So it's interesting, right? I'll tell you one thing I pick up straight away from that. So who uses it? They're kind of steering away from what we know as the ServiceNow roles, right? So developers, technical consultants, business analysts, process consultants. They haven't mentioned any of that there. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just an observation.
Yeah. So I wonder here as well. It's saying it's used both internally at ServiceNow. So this is obviously a technique that maybe they've started to, it's something that they've always kind of used themselves, perhaps in the last few years. And it's like, oh, maybe our customers can benefit from doing the same sort of thing for designing forms and things.
Yeah. Partners, individuals. So I'll tell you what would be interesting, and maybe we should do this another time, but it'd be interesting to see how and if any now learning courses talk to this. So how do you use it? And if it's on your kind of profile roadmap, because those profiles do talk to things like developer, architect, and whatever, right? So how does this kind of slot into there? I wonder.
Yep. That kind of
site launch. There you go. May 2024. So it was launched in May.
Yep.
Meet ServiceNow's new design system. Learn how. Okay. What's coming?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear my stomach rumbling? I haven't had lunch. On-site search. Oh, what does that mean? Is that
site-wide search? Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
So I think what I want to know is, like, obviously, if this is the kind of frameworks for design, obviously, what are the things that come to mind in terms of things that you design? I'm thinking of things like portals, maybe even catalog items, forms for the back end.
Okay.
What else do you actually design from a UX perspective? I guess individual widgets.
Okay.
Dashboards.
Hold that thought. Right. Let's click along the top. Get started. Foundations. What's in there? Let's poke around.
Right. Oh,
go back to get started for me, just for a sec.
Okay.
What's on the left hand side? What's all that? Oh, that's just the sections that we went down. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to foundations then. What's this?
Typography.
Looks nice, doesn't it? I think it looks nice. So let's pick one.
Okay. Let's go color. About color. Color is powerful in design.
Resources. We'll have a look at that in a minute.
So obviously this is going to be interesting because if you think about all the previous times that you've kind of like built portals and things like that, a lot of the time you're kind of reliant on like the customer's own marketing team being involved in that.
Correct. Yeah.
Because what are the things you ask for? You ask for what's your branding, give us your logo, what's your color scheme, what's the fonts that you use. And you typically just set up the portal to fit that kind of experience, or a bit like their internal pages.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this will help with that, or help the conversations around that.
Okay.
Maybe you bring in these different personas to the party to say, well, this is what we think good design is. Then they'll say, well, this is our design. You should be following this.
Yeah.
Where's the middle point?
Okay. Just scroll down. Have you ever worked with any projects where you've worked with external systems that provide the design? So let's say a BA or a designer have knocked up a design and said, here it is, go and look at it, and you've logged into some other tool and scene forms.
Yeah, definitely have. Yeah. They come up with wireframes. They would use external products. I'm trying to think what they use. Things like the Adobe suites where they create wireframes of your portal, and
So here's the following question. So in those circumstances, have you ever been in a situation where designers said, "This is what we think the workspace should look like," and you look at it and go, "Yeah, it can't do that."
Many times.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So this might plug that gap.
Those components, and you go,
Exactly, right? Because designers, again, I don't want to speak for them, but designers will go and think about UX and not necessarily always know the capabilities of the platform, right? So maybe this bridges that gap. So maybe this is a platform where that can happen, where it does have the capabilities, or some of them. Don't know. Let's see. Click on icons. What's that? Words. Icons. That looks boring, doesn't it? No, go for icons.
Where's that? Oh, there. Yeah. Icons are editable, modern, and okay.
Icon code documentation. What's in there? Go on. Oh no, that's a link to the developer site. No, we don't want to.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right.
Ooh. API stuff.
Okay, so there is some. Here's the design, but here is possibly the underlying config for it as well.
So this is something we've come across before, have we not? Figma.
Yeah, so hold that Figma thought.
Okay. Oh.
Don't spoil the fun.
All right.
We're getting there. Scroll down. Custom icons. What's that mentioned? What does that
say? So they've got a library of icons then, which are good ones to use. I must admit, I've got a few different websites where I've used different icons, where they've been really useful.
I think straight away from what we've already spoke about, one of the observations I have, and I think there is an opportunity to feed back to the team on this as well, which I can do for us. But one of the observations is it's clearly said who's it for, but how does that talk to now learning, and how do you employ this as a practice in your organization?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. I think this comes back to like your kind of governance boards and design principles and things like that.
All comes back to the boring stuff, doesn't it? Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if your approach is always, and this is always something that is always kind of pushed to us in the past, is like, you try and stick to out of the box as possible, or, this is what a particular templated version of the service portal looks like.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, when other teams come in and say, well, actually, we want it to look like this and it should do that, then you think, well, if you think about the level of effort that's required to try and achieve that, and then you're having to come up with all these kind of custom components and things like that. And
exactly.
Yes, they work from a UX perspective, but from a maintenance and supportability perspective, that's not particularly great. So
that's very, very true. Very true. I wonder, they must have this challenge in I mentioned Apple before today on the conversation, but they must have the same challenge there. It's like, let's have these apps that are really simple. The designer comes up with these nice, sassy looking apps, get to a developer and they go, oh God.
Yeah.
Right, let's pick one. Pick one of these. We've gone into components now.
Yeah, so we're in components. Let's go for a radio button. Oh, playground. Hello. Okay.
Right, let's dive into Figma. Go on, press that button. When to use, when not to use. Got some guidance on that. Or when not to use. Don't use radio buttons for users can select. So it's got some... Okay, so it's got some good guidance as well in terms of when to use them for designs. What does that say? Oh, that's obvious though, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Right.
So I guess my question around all of this is this just kind of like free advice in terms of like, here's just general advice about UX, or is this, there's some kind of subscribable component to this where there are experts behind this? Is this just a framework?
Well, I think the fact that we can get on, and let's continue. Click on the radio buttons Figma component. Click on that.
Sorry, where?
This one, that one.
Oh, this
one that you just hovered over that says radio button.
Take us into Figma, I guess. Okay.
Right. Now, this tells you a bit more of the components. What does it say down there? Next experience components. So, okay, it's all about next experience. Is there any comments on there? What does that comment say?
I'll zoom in a bit. There's no comments.
All right, okay. Building blocks. Okay, some useful information there. Tags. Oh, we can share it on Twitter. Should we do it? Just to see what it does. No, let's not. Yeah, right. Now click click on the open in Figma. Okay. So I have played with this a little bit before.
Oh, okay. Right, we may or may not need to... Oh, no, it's okay. It's a different window. Don't worry. Bear with.
Hey, may or may not need to hide that bit from the viewers.
Oh, email address will hide that bit.
Well, I'm editing, if I remember, you mean. Right. Here we go. So this is what I looked at before.
Ooh, okay. We'll say okay.
This, I think, is the kind of thing that we might have seen before on different projects, right? So this is what, perhaps a portal page. So on the right-hand side, you've got access to text. You can change text. You've got themes, I guess, you can manipulate. The other thing I noticed on here is if you go up to the top left, and then you see that little next to the T, to the right of the T, you got the little sparkly signs or whatever. I don't know what it is. In between the T and the little hand that's gone like this.
Right at the top. Oh.
Yeah.
Up here.
No.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Click on that. Resources. That's it.
Okay. Oh, so we've got your library of stuff.
So now, if you type form, this is something you mentioned before. And you can just drag that on. I think you can drag it on. I'll just click it.
Oh, okay. So it's added it to this kind of thing.
So I guess here, this could be perhaps a designer or a business analyst that's gone in, discussed with the customer and says, okay, we need these fields on the form in this place. Attached to the story, goes to a developer or a creator in these words. And you can see very clearly what the expectation is.
Yeah,
you see, so this is perhaps a tool for, I want to say designers. But again, in most, maybe things are shifting now. But in most partner environments, perhaps those designers would be BAs, unless you've got a specific UX design function within your partners.
Yeah, I got you.
Don't know many of them.
Yeah,
I know partners that work with third-party companies specific for UX design.
Yeah,
and I know there are partners specifically looking at UX design.
Yeah,
but I guess people would assume the role of a designer, right? So BA, business process consultant, perhaps. Yeah. But this to me is like a tool for them to mock up what that might look like.
Yeah, and I guess if you wanted to kind of accelerate the delivery of configuration to this, there's no second guessing then. It's like, this is exactly what we're expecting it to look like. Attach it to the story, like you said, like from a BA perspective. Then, there's no guessing. It's like, we want it to appear underneath the caller field. Do you know what I mean? You can see exactly what the form should look like.
And we're going through, right now, the project I'm going on, there's some form changes, right, that's happening at the minute. And yes, there's mock-ups, but it's something that perhaps could be adapted in this way to shore it up. You've got to look at what else have we got. What's in the plugins section? What's in that?
Get rid of form. Oh, different icons, I guess, and third-party libraries.
Widgets, what's that?
Widgets, emojis, UX.
Go on, chuck one on, just see what it does.
What's UX flow?
Don't know.
Not sure.
What other components have they got?
Stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Let's look at the other components. Let's see if we can grab.
What else can we grab? The icon?
A UI action.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's search for something very specific. Yeah. UI action. Or would it be under button, perhaps?
It'd probably be under button, yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, no, it's there. Look, it's there.
Yeah.
You can make it bigger.
No.
I suppose you can on the right hand side if there's stuff that you can manipulate on the right hand side, like all your theme and the different stuff. What else have we got in there? So on the left hand side is the left hand side is very much like
Your layers.
You know, when you're building a portal or Next Experience, you got all the stuff. So the stuff that's on the form itself, right? There's a better word for it. Can't think of it. But that kind of shows you what's on the form right now. Okay.
Yeah, I can see this being really useful for Portal, but I guess where you're in an environment where you're chopping and changing forms quite a lot, obviously you need to make sure that this is one of your tasks to ensure that you keep updating this. Yes, your set of, these are your latest forms. And if you're making changes to it, then, do you know what I mean? That could be a lot of work involved in just the maintenance and upkeep of like form design.
This is the thing. So I think on here what you can do is, you just put a button in. I think you can have it direct to different pages. So you can have multiple pages on the left-hand side, right?
Okay.
So let's say if you had, let's pretend this is an incident form, and you put that button on you wanted when it clicked to go to the problem record, right?
Yeah.
I think you can do that, but it's only inside this tool, right? It's only visual.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can share this with customers as well. Or a version of it that you can, I guess you do your meeting and go, this is what it looks like. I'm going to share it now for feedback. And I'd expect them to be able to comment on it. There's a little bubble icon at the top. What does that do? Click on it.
Anything here.
Yeah, what does it do?
Yeah, good feedback.
Yeah, okay. So you can put feedback on. Where it stores this, I don't know. In terms of, do you export it? Is it all stored in the cloud? If it is all stored in the cloud, what kind of security or legislation is around that? That I don't know. Quite open questions, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it's a good starting point. And I think just by us poking around, and I'd poked around for a couple of minutes before, and I'm sure I could get to grips with it after poking around a bit more. Oh, publish library, export, create branch. Okay, so it's talking to the same kind of stuff that you hear inside ServiceNow with Studio and things.
Yeah.
Oh, dev code. Hello. What's that?
Oh, so you can get all CSS around it.
Well, this is the thing I was asking. So I've worked with a third-party tool before where nothing to do with ServiceNow. It allowed the designers to go and design, and underneath those components that you decided to put in, you had a code repository where you could take the code. I didn't know whether this was going to do that, but it looks like it might, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. So I guess the collaboration on this is pretty good then, and I like you say how you can kind of play it almost as you're presenting this as a designed solution.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I do like that.
I like it, but it's kind of as I said before, what's the roadmap journey? How do you adopt it?
Yes.
So everyone's used to doing what they're used to doing, right? Everyone's used to doing their mock-ups in Balsamic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to call that old school, but it's how do you adopt this as a practice in projects and organization?
It's like, if it's too granular, then do use it? Probably not. If it's a brand new portal where you want to spend more time in design rather than doing, because I guess there's that thing of like, why not just have a proof of concept environment where you can just go ahead and start creating stuff? Why not just show them directly in ServiceNow?
Yeah. Well, this is it. This is it. Because if you take that form that we've got on the screen at the minute, you might, so each customer environment is different, right? And this kind of, I guess it lends its hand more to, it lends to the argument of keep out of the box as much as possible. So you can leverage things like this. Because my experience is a lot of customers adopt, let's say, adapt the incident form to their requirements, right?
Yeah.
So then how much time you got to spend getting the templates up to scratch where they reflect the form today to then make changes? Or is the functionality that you can, that would be really cool if you pointed at an instance and it just kind of snapshotted everything they've currently got. That'd be cool, but I can see there being issues with that though. Or is it a case you I don't know, you take screenshots and put them in? Probably not. Or you have to invest the time up front.
Yeah.
Definitely,
yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they take this. What else is there? Let's have a bit more of a poke around. What else can you do? You can crop stuff. Put shapes.
What's that? Different cropping options, draw shapes, images.
So you can annotate. Okay.
This is pen and pencil to draw on it. Some different
right on it.
So yeah, you got your components here. I guess you can add layers. Oh, what's assets? Oh, this is more templated sort of stuff, I guess.
So you can. Oh, this is interesting then. So switch it. Go up a bit.
It's not just the same as components. I don't know.
No, switch it. Go up.
Go up. Yep.
Down. You can. I guess you can emulate like an iPhone screen.
Yeah, like a mobile app.
Do you see what I mean? So you can change views. Or is that top right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm assuming you can change views. So it's like, yes, we build on. You could build on desktop, but then say this is how it is on an iPhone. There is an argument, I know, mobile first development. I know that. So I'm assuming it talks to that. Oh, there you go. iPhone.
Oh yeah, the wire kind of frames are like the phone.
Go on, shop one in. What does it do?
Yeah, we had. Oh, hello. Sure.
Agree to that. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So it just gives you a template to put stuff in. Okay.
This does feel very balsamic, doesn't it? Because they have the same. Definitely had the same things.
Well, I was going to ask the question: what do we think of the UX experience of this UX?
Yeah, not too bad. You think someone could pick up and play with this? I reckon.
Well, I think I've managed to pick it up. So I spent, like I said, 5 minutes a few weeks ago playing with it, and you've just been playing with it today. Yeah. So I guess it still does need some guidance and training, but you can pick it up and play with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see. I mean, maybe there's a library that we need to install into here, but it wasn't immediately obvious. How do you find ServiceNow specific stuff in here?
I think it's all ServiceNow. I think Next Experience components and hang on, in the middle where it says Next Experience and then the arrow.
Yeah.
What does that do? Click on that. Nothing.
I think that's just like your name. It's like a default naming, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that form there, that to me is James's design. That form there is to what I would call a back-end design.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean, old school form. Have they got like have a look at Workspace or something?
Maybe we should search. I guess I was expecting more templated. Oh, I've got Workspace menus. Okay. And maybe there's, if you go back to, I guess, this area, maybe there's better, templates or default.
Go back then, because we haven't looked at patterns on here yet. So that's kind of how it hooks into Figma. And presumably the components that we can see under the components section are preloaded in Figma that we can go and play with.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, crap.
We're still in Figma. Right, okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
There we go. So what's patterns then?
Patterns.
Not sure I like the term patterns, you know.
Depends what it is. Recommended configurations and best practices for components.
Yeah. So pick something that's interesting.
Template card, record card. Not too sure what this means. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, it's just more advice about configuration of components.
This is, I guess, not agreed, but patterns that you can use to standardize.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's going to be built out because there's only 3 there. I'm assuming part of their roadmap is to build out with more patterns. So look at loading. What's loading? These like patterns for loading screens.
Yeah.
Is it still loading?
Progress bars. I mean.
Okay.
You don't design that though, do you? I mean, around loading screens.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they might, I suppose.
Maybe
big bugbear with loading screens. What was it yesterday? Putting an update set in and it hung on 99% for about 30 minutes. I was like, God.
Yeah. Why?
Do you know what I mean? Why?
Clearly you're not 99%, yeah.
Clearly you're not. What's in resource? Special interest group.
Interest groups, libraries, learning. So yeah, all learning materials and stuff. Okay.
Oh, is it learning materials? Is that loaded on a different screen, or you just? Is this going to take us to now learning? Here we go.
Yes.
Go on, click on it.
Not sure I particularly want to show my now learning on.
It won't log into yours though, will it?
Just opening it in a different window for now to see.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just goes to the home page, so it needs me to log in.
Right, okay. It'd be interesting to see what was under. So scroll down. Let's see if it shows you what's in it. There we go.
Yeah. User experience for ServiceNow. Yep. So
I think that's worth doing, isn't it? It's worth doing anyway.
Yes.
If it's free, just to get a better understanding. Perhaps we should have done that before we decided to do any content on it. Maybe this might have been more useful.
Well, we're all figuring out at the same time here.
Yeah, we're all working through it.
But obviously, one interesting thing is obviously we haven't signed up for anything here yet or anything.
No.
So this is all free advice up to this point.
Oh, whoa! I assume so. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're like, where's the catch, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Like,
where's
when do we
the
pay
catch?
licenses to ServiceNow for this?
We'll go back onto Figma and try and export it, see what it does.
Oh yeah. What was it? Share?
Come on, you can do this. You can do this.
Loading? Oh.
What have you done?
Is that per the designs?
Oh, you've got more things up there now. What's
all
that stuff?
Before.
Present, preview.
Yeah, so you can present. It needs to have some more frames or something.
What about share? I think when you clicked share, it was an export.
When I clicked share, it came up with stuff. It got published to community, embedded code.
Oh, go on, publish that to community. See what happens. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, so there must be a duplicate one. Right, okay. Is it going to fail the UX? Oh, what's on the far left-hand side?
The main menu. So, okay. So
yeah.
Right. So, okay. So you can save. A local copy must be a particular Figma kind of file, I guess.
Place image. You can put specific images on there. Get
export
desktop
PDF,
app,
which I guess is useful.
Okay.
It's a desktop app. Yeah.
Yeah, I might do that to have a play.
Yeah, so it seems like you do. Obviously, Figma being external to ServiceNow, I know because I've played with this before as well for some design elements. Figma and Canva are both quite useful, aren't they?
Yeah.
For design elements. And you do get a fair bit of features without having to pay for stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the homepage, the Horizon homepage. So, right, let's sum it up. What do we think?
Obviously useful because design is often an afterthought.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that.
It can delay development and, to accelerate things getting into production. I think often you find in like testing or UAT, that's when people come back and go, who designed this? Or do you know what I mean? It's like, this isn't great from a UX perspective. Did you run this by our marketing team?
Yeah.
And that's when you go, well, you got your logo and your branding, your color, maybe that's enough. But for some organizations, UX is big. And I think in that case, it might be worth investing the time on design and, doing all this kind of upfront. And I think a well-known connection of ours said once that you're almost better doing 90% in planning and 10% in doing.
Oh God, yes, yeah. But do you not think, just to throw one in there, do you not think those companies that are really invested in UX already have their UX departments with their UX tools anyway? So I wonder whether you could export the components.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that's something you can export, whether you have to use, whether you're baked into using Figma, or you can export it and then consume it your other tools.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I've got to be honest, I like this because, as you've said before, it's quite often an afterthought, and it shouldn't be. And a lot of times, definitely, it's getting a lot better. I've seen some improvements over the last couple of years. But before that, it was a lot of it's up to the developer. You've got artistic license. And you've got people that are really good at the front end stuff, the UX stuff, that are naturally good at it. I can think of a couple of names that we know that are fantastic. Whereas you look at someone like me, I just want the thing to work. Give you a prime example. I went on, when I was working a permanent role a few years back, we had a tech day in London. And we were playing with the whole Next experience. This is a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. And the challenge was to hit a button and it load a form. Something easy. We were mucking around with it.
Yeah.
And there were two different teams. We weren't against each other. We were just working together, right? Now, I was on the team saying, I just want the button to do something. Let's just get it so it opens the form.
Yeah.
But then you had other people on the team that wanted to worry about, well, I wanted to have this kind of curve on the button and that kind of color. That one's not right.
Yeah.
And that was more their focus over what the button looked like as whether it worked.
Yeah.
So you get people that are naturally prioritize that. And whereas if you're someone like me, you just want the thing to work, right? Then I'll worry about that later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think either way's
and you've
wrong.
Got X amount of days and time available to deliver something. I guess you've got to judge it with each individual use case, don't you? I guess it's like, do you have the time invested in being able to do this sort of stuff?
That's it.
Or is it, you just have to go away and deliver something functional?
This is it. And here's another question for you. Here's another one to add into the mix. If ServiceNow are putting this out on the public domain that people can consume, right? And we've just shown it's fairly easy to navigate. I'm sure my daughter could with her experience from school, right? Does design lend its hand to being a customer role? So, for example, if you go into a project and you're going to work with, you mentioned before, customers that are really heavy on UX, they've got their own function, their own tools. Then they may well say, do you know what? I don't want to pay you, Mr. Partner or Mrs. Partner, to do that. I can do that myself. So let us design it using the ServiceNow components that I can get for free. And then we'll hand it off to your developers.
That's a great point. I didn't think about it from that perspective.
Yeah. Where's it going?
Yeah.
Where's it going?
Especially with portal design. That always comes to my mind. Rather than form design where you can just knock something up and chop and change it when you need to. Things like portals are quite big, aren't they? Portals and workspaces perhaps are quite big differentiators. If you get them right, then efficiencies can be so much better.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
so it'd be interesting to see what the roadmap is or how it progresses over the next 18 months. But as a starting point, I like it. It's something definitely that I'll try and adopt, or at least keep at the back of my mind as another tool in my tool belt.
Toolbox.
Hey, look at I went for belt, you went for box.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Oh, always thinking. Okay. So I think that's probably enough for this episode. I think it's all right. Yeah. I think we've done it justice. We haven't said anything too much that we shouldn't do.
No, shared some personal email accounts and
spam him. He loves it. Okay, on that note, so I live opposite a forest. I've just watched two grown adults sprint down and go into the forest. A bit weird. Man and a woman. Could be a dog in sight. Who knows? Anyway, right. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Until next time, I've been Russ.
I've been James.
And this is Service Ducks. I got it right.